Hey, Logan.
Hey Sid, how you doing?
I'm good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah. This machine is running, and I can hear you very, very well though.
Okay, nice. So, yeah, as you saw, I just got started trying to just map out what I've got, and so, eventually I'll need to go down to Headland to get some drone footage. But, yeah, I talked to Sam, a month or two ago, and we went over about half of Jehoiakim's siblings.
Yeah,
And then he just kept deferring to you. He said, "Well,
sure.
Sid's gonna know." And so I
Yeah.
just
Well,
yeah,
I've got them. I mean, there are a lot in there that I don't know, but there are a lot of people that I was raised up with that was in the area that I didn't even know were kin to us. But I think I can go down the list of them. I'm it's sort of I got one hand. I mean, one arm is out of commission.
gotcha.
And but if I get this book in my lap, I may have to put the phone down and put it in my lap. Yeah, I think I can talk to you. I can hold the phone and read off my lap, and I think I can tell you all I know. All the contributions that I can make. I can do it right now. I believe.
That works. And then yeah, I'll have the video will most likely have the actual page of that book, and then
Mhm.
as you're talking, if I can have I might have a Google Maps, pull up if you say Echo or you say Headland, you say Abbeville, like I'll just gonna pull up the everything that you're talking about. And so,
Okay.
but yeah, one thing I shared with my mom the same thing I sent you, the siblings of Jehoiakim, and he's got Curtis, he's got a Curtis, he's got a James,
Yes.
and he's got a William, and that's Wayne names his three sons names
Yes.
of siblings of Jehoiakim.
Amazing. I had not. I knew Curtis, but I didn't know. I didn't even think about the other two.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, you didn't talk to anybody yesterday, but Will was down here on business in Dothan, and he spent the night with Sam last night. So I got to go up there and we talked family and we talked all kind of stuff last
Nice.
night.
Nice.
Had a ball with Will.
Nice. How's Will doing?
He's doing great. He's big as the side of a barn, muscled up,
Yeah.
just a monster of a guy.
Yep.
The sweetest guys I ever met. He's a
Yep.
good man.
Yep.
Let me put this little booklet that I wrote in. Let me put it in my lap. I have to put the phone down and I'll pick it right back up.
All right.
Okay, Logan. I'm number one sibling is Anzilla. Oh no, is of Anzilla and Rozier is Mary Ann.
Yep.
Oh, hello.
Yep. I can hear you.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, somebody's beeping and trying to call me. I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, Mary Ann is the oldest sister in that family, the oldest sibling, and she was born on. Usually it tells me who's calling, but it's not. Anyway, she was born on December 10, 1826. Married Daniel Riley. You got that? You got all that info?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, did you get a book? Were you able to find a book
So
on the
that
internet?
yeah, there's an electronic copy of it to the PDF that I was able to find. But yeah, I couldn't have done it if you hadn't told me about the book. And so
Yeah,
yeah, when you
great.
Google the name of that book, it shows up in Google. And yeah, so
Perfect.
yeah, yeah, that was very helpful.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
yeah, we're gonna
Sure.
have a lot of I'm gonna use that book quite a bit on this first video.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, listen, Mary Ann, the people that I've got, it's a whole list of folks. The uh, under Mary Ann, and let's start off with Wayne Chansey. Wayne Chansey is mother and daddy's next door neighbor. He's dead? They're dead. He's dead too now. But Wayne Chansey married Elaine Scott, and Daddy built a house for him right next to his house, his and mother's house on Brenda Avenue. And he's like a fourth cousin or fifth cousin, something like that. Then I got a guy named Clyde Riley that ran the co-op for the outfit out of Decatur. The name in Headland was Headland Peanut Warehouse, but Clyde Riley was the manager of the Decatur-oriented business there in Headland. Bought peanuts and the co-op is what they call it, the co-op. And that co-op was headquartered out of Decatur, Alabama. All right, another one is Sandra Mills. Sandra Mills, oh, I got a couple of stories about this. I don't know if you want to go as deep as I'm going to do it, but let me tell you that she married Cheryl Singleton, who was my football coach, who was one of the football coaches when I was a senior. He had just graduated from Troy and got a job with Headland coaching the backs and ends. He was a great little athlete in Newville, that's where he's from. But that Cheryl, who is not kin to us, his son Jody is a councilman, and he may be the mayor pro tem. He may be the mayor in Headland now. But he also was about Jennifer's age, and they both had a birthday about the same time. August the 8th was Jennifer's, and I think Jody's was like the 10th or the 6th or something. Okay. Let me just tell you this little story about Sandra Mills' daddy. His name was Chester. And Mr. Chester and my good friend Phil Griggs, who I go out to Phoenix with twice a year, they went to school in Abbeville, and they were good friends. That's Chester Mills and Winston Griggs Sr. And they went early on. They went over to the school. I'm going to say it was maybe the first or the second grade, but they went to the school and decided that they'd come home and tell the parents that they didn't have room for them and said to come back next year. So all that year, I don't believe it was the first grade. I think it was the second and third grade. Anyway, all that year they stayed out of school without having legitimacy. They just told their parents that and somehow got away with it. That's a great story for me. There's another Chancey named Steve Chancey. Sam, he and his wife used to come to the porch house all the time. Young man, but he's a descendant of Marianne. Another one is Wayne Elmore. Wayne Elmore's son, Kylie, and Clay Brannon were big buddies in school. In fact, Kylie did a eulogy for Clay's funeral. All right, there's another one in there that she married Lig Solomon. Her name was Cheryl Riley. She married Lig Solomon. Lig is a distant cousin to us. I'm going to say he's like third cousins. Okay, I noticed another one in there named Rosa. Rosa Brannon married Mr. Tippy Kirkland from out past at Kirkland's Crossroads past, before you get to Echo. Tippy Kirkland was, I knew him all of my life. On and off. I mean, he was not a good friend of the family, but I knew him. And it turns out when I started to work at Landmark Park, he was big into canoeing, and he went on several canoeing trips with us. That's Rosa Brannon Kirkland's husband. All right, these are the main two things of all those. It's amazing to me that the oldest child would have all these siblings that I would know. I don't know Pitt Riley, and I don't know Rhett Riley, but I do know that they were from Albany, and Daddy was always talking about Schaffner and Pitt and Rhett Riley. Here's the kicker. When I went to Auburn, my friend John Riley had already gone. I mean, he went there first. I went to Troy for 2 years, but he was already up there and had won the job as the kicker for Auburn's football team. He kicked off and into the end zone most every time. He was not a soccer style. He was a head-on kicker, and they usually can't do like the soccer people. But anyway, he's still a good friend. I've got Monday night. I've got a dinner meeting with him. But he held the record. This is John Rat Riley from Abbeville. He held the record for in the SEC for the longest field goal until about 3 years ago when this Carlson boy from Colorado University, from Colorado. I think he came from Colorado Springs. He broke his record. He broke John's record. Now going back to Auburn, when I was up there, Auburn had a linebacker named Robert Margison from Albany. And he started calling John Riley Rat Riley because of Rat Riley that he knew in Albany. Turns out that Rat Riley is the man that I just mentioned. He was Daddy's cousin. So my friend John Riley got the nickname Rat Riley because of one of my daddy's cousins over in Albany, Georgia. And that just blows my mind.
Small world.
Okay, it is a small world. All right, that's all I've got written down for Mary Ann. Let me turn the page. There are not as many in the rest of these, but let me turn this page. Okay, you're right. It's Curtis is next, and then Jehoiakim is next, Acom. And so I don't need to, we've already talked about that. Thomas, let's see, I got. Okay, Thomas was Mamie was the youngest daughter, and we've talked about that. Number 4 is James E. And apparently James E. went to Hartford. And all I can tell you that I could see in that James E. is Freddie Brannon. Freddie Brannon, I had a class with him. He was from Newville, but I had a class with him in Troy. Had an accounting class with him. He turned out he opened a store up in Newville, a grocery store, and ran it for a while. Very astute business person and people person. He knew how to treat customers. And the reason I'm saying that is because David Riley, another one, his daddy owned the Napa store. He ended up coming back and running the Napa store, bought it from his daddy, and ended up, everybody loved David Riley. He just was a personable man. When you talked to him, you thought that you were the only one in the world that he was talking to. Anyhow, he ended up selling to O'Reilly Auto Parts for a fine sum, and stayed with them for a year, I think. And now he's working for the city of Headland. But I asked him one day, I said, David, who taught you how to treat people? Who taught you the business world? And he said, I said, your daddy? He said, nope, Freddie Brannon. Freddie Brannon was his boss. He worked for him when he was in high school in that grocery store and learned all of his good people skills through Freddie Brannon. That blew me away. And Freddie has just passed away. He was a year or two older than me. Okay.
And that's quick question. When you said sure. James E. Brannon went to Hartford, what is that? Is that a university? Is that a city in Georgia? No.
It's a city in Alabama. It's a town in Alabama. It's down below Slocum. If you went to Dothan and went out 52 west, you'd come to Slocum. If you go about 10 more miles down that road toward Geneva, you would go to Hartford. And we know that there are a lot of Brannons in that area, and they're our kinfolks. I want to thank somebody from Abbeville, Alabama, or Headland, from Henry County anyway, went down to Geneva and started that town. I may be all behind the ears in that, so we'll just have to see about that. But I do know that Hartford has got a bunch of Brannon kinfolks there, and some came back. I think Freddie Brannon's daddy was down there, and then they ended up coming back up to Newville, where they came from, back to Center Church area. Okay, that's the last of the James E that I've got. The only one in James E that I've got, Freddie. And there are others. And there might be a contradiction in this book. James E. and then the last son. We'll get down there to that one. But let me just say Nancy Jane is number 5. Nancy Jane Brannon married Louis Deal, who was a Civil War man. I've got here Myronell Kirkland Clements. I know that she is related to us, and her son Lamar Clements is also got to be related to us. And I want to think maybe Myronell was Lamar's mother, but I've got written down here, believe it or not, Dorothy Brannon. You could find it if you looked in Mary Jane. You could find Dorothy and see what the relationship is. I just wrote it down, and I really don't know her. I just saw that Dorothy and had to put it down. All right, let me turn the page now, Logan. Okay, now I do have some more. I thought that I didn't, but I wrote this lady named Emma Woodham. I don't know, but I do know this Ollie Carpenter. Ollie Carpenter was the lady. She married. Let's see. Okay, I may be telling this wrong too, but the Carpenters lived across the road from Uncle Kurt, actually from Grandmother Van's house over on East. Okay, Ollie Carpenter, and then is one. James is another, and Lois Reister is the next name. Well, I know the Reisters are out west of town here. I think Lois Reister was a sister of one of my English teachers. And here's another one down here, Jewel Henderson. These are old. These are people as old as mother. So, and Ollie Carpenter, if that's Jackie Carpenter's mother, she's even older than mother was. And then under that same heading, I got Louis Daniel Riley. Says Lola Ward. I do know that Bill Ward shows up in the history around Civil War times as a notorious outlaw. I mean, bad. He was a bad dude. I don't know if he wouldn't fight or I don't know what the deal was, but he was bad. Charlotte and Granthams. I got some Granthams down here. But here's Jean and Linda Ward. But Linda was a Riley. She was Danny Riley, the one that I was telling you about that owned the Napa store that O'Reilly bought out. He bought it out from Jean Ward. Linda Ward was Danny Riley's sister. And she married the Jean Ward, and they were in the Jimmy was in the Napa business with the cousins. And then the Deals, I got Alan and Billy and Jack and Mary Helen Deal. They're all from, I think Alan and Billy were closer to Wayne's age and Sam's age. And then Jack and Mary Helen were closer to my age. Then I got Danny, Carol, Nancy, and Michael. Oh, gee. Oh, I'm not Michael Bill. You'll have to look that up too. Okay, and then I got another one down here named, here's Claudia. Claudia married a Riley. So Claudia was Pap's sister. Married a guy named Carly. The first time they had 2 children, and I don't have their names. But under that same heading, whoever it was, Mary Jane, I believe, Mary Jane Brannon is where Pap's sister Claudia comes in here. Married Carly Riley, and they had 2 kids. I'll get off of that. On farther down, I see Norma Mims, Jasper Mims. Norma Kirkin, but she is listed in there. And then another name in that same listing was a Fowler boy. Fowler's from Cottonwood, Alabama, married into that family. And Fowler was a really good football player when a year or two older than me. I graduated in 66, so he would have been 64 or 5. He was a good running back down there. Then I got Mary Permelia. Number 6 is Mary Permelia, January 12, 1938. That's when she was born. Surely that's right. No, 1838. I don't know. I put 1938. I've got 19. That's certainly not it. These are 1800s. Mary Permelia, I have nothing, nobody that I recognize. Lydia is number 7. Liddy, March 12, 1940. Mayor George Riley, I don't have anything to that. Number 8, John W. Brannon, May the 8th in 1842. I've got here Smiths, Charlie, and his sister Florida Driggers. Oh, that could be right. Maybe that's his wife. Florida Driggers married Charlie Smith, I think is the way it works. And they happen to be in that picture of the Brannons at the Brannon reunion. Charlie Smith and his sister Florida. And they called her Flirty. And some of our kinfolks up at center think it's Flirty, but it was Flirdy, like a slang for Florida, Flirty. And I've heard Pap called that name before. That's why I know. I know as best I can. Pat would sometimes, we're going to Flirty. That's what he would say when we were talking about going to fishing. We're going to Flirty. Okay. Under this John W. is Elna, and Taylor Cannon Trawick. Chappie Trawick lives on the way up to Center Church. He still owns some of that Brannon land, but it's Trawick's. The Trawick's own it. Elna, I'm assuming was, I don't know the connection, but I think that Elna was a Brannon or a Riley or a Chancey. Who knows? All right, and then I got Chappie Trawick down here, but Chappie is a little younger than I am. Jasper Mims, on the other hand, there are several. Kenneth Q is a guy that I know.
Jasper Brannon or
Jasper Brannon. Yeah, Jasper Brannon. This is the September the 12th, 1844. That's what he lists in that book. The John W. was 1942. 1842, and now Jasper Brannon is 1844. That's Jehoiakim's brother that went to the Civil War and came back addled from the shell shock and all. And Daddy has told me this story. I think I've already told it to you, but Uncle Jasper, Daddy would be riding in a wagon with Pap, a mule and wagon to get out there across the river, across the Choctawhatchee River to Center Church. And Daddy said he was a little boy, and when they come up on that, there was a big sand bed out in the road. Was a sand bed. There was no base. It was just sandy land, just like Dale County. This area of Dale County is poor land. But Daddy said that the wagon was sort of slipped, the mule had to pull hard, and out of the door would come running Uncle Jasper with a sword in his hand. And he'd be dressed up in his old Confederate uniform, come running out, hollering and screaming. And Daddy said he would get off the wagon on the passenger side, right-hand side, and walk around and get on the other side of the wagon. And before Uncle Jasper could get out to the wagon. And he said that Pap would say, "Jasper, this is Lewis. Jasper, this is Lewis." And I'd calm him down and go back in the house. Now that blew me away. Oh, that was my watch. There's somebody dropped something in the back. Okay. I told you Kenneth Q. I know him. He's a good guy and obviously a distant relative. Another one named Jerome Chancey. I met Jerome Chancey. Never knew anything about him, but I met him at the airport in Panama City, Florida. I was flying to Phoenix to visit Betty Phil, and he was flying on to California where he made a living, but he's one of these same Chanceys, kinfolks Jasper Brannon's offspring. He was high up in the Border Patrol years ago. I think after he left that job with the government, I think he worked with Los Angeles Police Department. And that's neither here nor there, but that's just something that I do know. And it was just a chance meeting. I started talking to him. And we found out we were kinfolk. And I've seen him since. He came to a funeral since then that Sam and I attended. Somebody died at Center Church, and Sam and I went up there, and there they were. But Lamar Turner is the one that Sam Brannon ran against. And when Sam ran for probate judge, Lamar Turner ran and beat Sam. I don't remember how much. Not that bad, I don't think, but some of our kinfolks that I didn't know about at the time. All right, Jasper was number 9. Number 10 is Eliza and Elizabeth. Eliza is what they listed, and then Elizabeth too. October 25th, 1846. So, 44, about 2 years apart. Then the next one, I don't have anything on that. Then number 11 is Roseanne, January 9, 1849. Married Brantley Balkom. The Balkoms are around out west in the edge of Dale County. One of the Balkoms now is the peanut man for the state of Alabama. He took over for Dallas Hartzog out here at this experiment station in Headland. But his name is Balkom. Chris Balkom is his name. And I just know that they're kin. I don't know the Balkoms, don't have the genealogy on them, but I believe they're going to be kin to us. All right, that's 11. Let me turn the page. Well, there's more. The next one is 12, and it's Argent Brannon, October 29, 1850. I don't have anything for her. I didn't recognize a soul in there, and I'm not sure that they need anything. I'm not sure that there's any information in it. I'd have to be looking at the book. The next one, number 13, is William R. Brannon. He was 1852. Okay, and he married Celia Samantha Curitan. The bridges up there on Highway 27 going between Abbeville and Ozark are named Curitan Bridge. There's a historical marker that the Henry County Historical Society that I'm affiliated with put a marker years ago marking Curitan's Bridge right there around the corner from Center Church, where Center Church is. So and the Curitans are also in the air conditioning heating business, and that's who Mother and Daddy did business with, and Sam and Wayne and I have been doing business with them since then too. Also under William R. Brannon is Lyman Brannon, the missionary to Korea. Then I see Marvette, Felix, Jean, those are twins. Perry, let's see, Felix and Jean are not. Jean is Felix's son. Jean is genealogist also. Then I got Perry and Terry. Perry's sons were Paul and Steve Brannon, and Perry, that's Terry's son. Perry's son was named Greg. They're still around. Then we got Arthur Lee. Arthur Lee. I've quit numbering them now. That's crazy. So 13. No, I haven't. Arthur Lee is under William R. His. I need to hold that. Let's see. Susan, Aaron. Let's see. Susan, Nancy, and Tom are Arthur Lee's children. And Aaron actually lives in Uncle Bumps' old house there in Headland. And Ryan is, let's see now. Susan's children are Aaron and Ryan is afflicted. He's afflicted. Then Nancy she taught school in Headland, Susan did. Nancy ended up in Gulf Breeze where Rita lives. They knew each other, played tennis with each other down at Gulf Breeze, Florida. just south on it's an island just south of Pensacola. And then Tom is the other son, is the other child. Then another one here is in that same family is Jane Brannon married George Murphy. They had a son named Lee, a son named Mary Alyssa, and then Ann. Ann went with me. Went on the same mission trip that I went to New Mexico. She went several times and caught sheep, goats. We did all kind of veterinary stuff out there. All right, and then in the same family, there's one named Joe Bill, one named Jim Bob. Those folks are in Dothan, and actually Curtis is the son of one of them, I think, that went to church with my friend Janice Slipley. His name is Curtis also, by the way. And then another sibling of Joe Bill and Jim Bob is Diane, and she owned a florist in Headland. When I worked for the city, I met her. She just opened the restaurant the florist up there. All right, I've got Joyce Elaine here, noted. Jay Jones also worked at the co-op with Clyde Riley, I was telling you about, but his mother is named Joyce Elaine, and she's kinfolks too. Then the next one here I've got is Henry Grady Brannon, had two children, Edward and Juanita. Juanita was about Daddy's age. They had, and Daddy's cousin, Edward was also a cousin, ran a little beer joint there in Headland. But Paula was my age. Rita Kay was a year younger, Kathy a year younger than that, and then Jeffrey is another daughter of Juanita. And Juanita married a Carter, and he got killed in some accident. Then the number 14, the last one, is Sarah Herrington, who was not kin to the Brannons at all that I know of. That's a strange occurrence, although it happened all the time back then when one family couldn't raise the kid for whatever reason, whether he got killed or, well, I don't know. But Sarah Herrington was raised by Jehoiakim. No, Sarah Herrington was raised by Rozier, I guess, Jehoiakim's daddy.
Yeah, that's what the book says. It says reared by Anzilla Galloway and Rozier Brannon.
That's it. And she married, Sarah Herrington also married Arnold Balkom. So we might not be kin, but our family raised it. Our ancestors raised this girl. But that is all I've got, and I know your ears are burning.